Imagine a forbidden piece of knowledge that long ago the ruling class decided was too dangerous for anyone to know. They concealed it, tore it from sacred texts, and wiped it from history with the hope that it would remain forever lost. However, Mary Magdalene, a close follower of Jesus, preserved whispers of it in an ancient, banned gospel, claiming to have received truths that could set people free. In fact, it's just a layer hiding a much deeper truth about who you are and the immense power locked inside you. The secret knowledge in this gospel doesn't tell us how to succeed in the world we see. It shows us how to see the world beyond the one right in front of us. It suggests that what we think of as real may be nothing more than a dazzling illusion. Thousands of years ago, long before modern religions took the shape we know, a group of people known as the Gnostics believed that real truth wasn't something you could see, touch, or measure. They called this truth gnosis, a kind of special knowledge or wisdom that allowed a person to understand the deepest secrets of the universe. Books or temples didn't contain gnosis. It was an inner knowing that unveiled secrets beyond the surface of everyday life. This quest for hidden knowledge, the desire to break free from the limits of the material world, sparked movements like Gnosticism, Kabbalah, and Neoplatonism. These philosophies emerged around the 1st century CE during a time of massive cultural and spiritual upheaval. People were questioning traditional beliefs and seeking answers to life's biggest mysteries. For instance, the belief that a lesser god, known as the demiurge, created the physical world, or material reality, led to the rapid spread of Gnosticism across the Mediterranean. People saw this demiurge as imperfect and even deceptive, trapping humanity in a world of illusions. To the Gnostics, this lesser god had formed the material world as a kind of prison, keeping people locked in cycles of suffering, desire, and unawareness. They believed that only by unlocking hidden knowledge could a person rise above the illusions and reconnect with a higher, purer source, the One or Light. For them, this knowledge wasn't just information. It was a transformative understanding that changed how one saw the world. A similar idea was taking root in another spiritual tradition known as Kabbalah, a Jewish mystical practice that first appeared formally around the 12th to 13th centuries, though its ideas and teachings date back even earlier. Kabbalists believe that everything in existence comes from a single divine source, known as Ein Sof, meaning the infinite. Kabbalistic teachings assert that this divine source exists in a state so pure and infinite that it defies human comprehension. To bring the universe into being, Ein Sof created 10 levels of divine energy called the Sephirot, which flowed outward like ripples, forming everything from the highest spiritual realms down to the material world we see. In Kabbalah, the journey to enlightenment involves reconnecting with this divine source by gaining deeper spiritual insight and shedding the distractions of materialism. Meanwhile, in the 3rd century CE, a Greek philosopher named Plato founded a school of thought called Neoplatonism, which shared strikingly similar ideas. Plotinus taught that all existence flowed from a single, all-encompassing source called the One or the Good. In his teachings, the One was so perfect that it constantly overflowed, creating layers of reality. Just as light spreads out from a central flame, the One gave rise to everything that exists in a series of emanations. To Plotinus, our individual lives and even our separateness were illusions. At the deepest level, everything was interconnected. For someone to reach enlightenment, they had to look within, beyond the distractions of the material world, to remember their origin in the One. But why were these teachings so secretive, even dangerous? For starters, each of these traditions suggested that people could reach divine truth without going through religious authorities. The Gnostics, Kabbalists, and Neoplatonism believed that divine knowledge was within reach of anyone willing to look within. This idea threatened traditional power structures, because it implied that the path to enlightenment and understanding didn't require intermediaries, leaders, or institutions. Each person could tap into this divine truth directly. One of the most significant moments in the preservation of these ancient ideas occurred in 1945 in a small Egyptian town called Nag Hammadi. Researchers discovered a collection of texts, now known as the Nag Hammadi Library, buried in the desert for centuries. Among these texts was the Secret Book of John, a Gnostic gospel that described conversations between Jesus and his disciples, sharing insights about the creation of the world and the nature of the divine. This discovery was like finding a missing puzzle piece, revealing lost teachings that echoed the same themes of hidden knowledge, divine unity, and the belief that the material world was only a shadow of a higher reality. Through these teachings, we see a powerful and unifying idea. The journey toward enlightenment is about freeing oneself from illusions, discovering hidden truths, and connecting to a divine source beyond the visible world. This wasn't just philosophy. It was a call to look beyond what society told you was real and to seek answers within yourself. By understanding Gnosticism, Kabbalah, and Neoplatonism, we're not only diving into history, but also uncovering a view of the world that's timeless, one that challenges us to question, to wonder, and to seek something beyond the everyday. This quest for hidden knowledge, these forbidden ideas, still has the power to inspire and challenge us, offering glimpses of a bigger picture that may forever change how we understand reality. Ancient wisdom speaks of an invisible unity binding all life, a hidden thread connecting every person, animal, and star in a vast, interconnected web. In the teachings of Gnosticism, Kabbalah, and Neoplatonism, this idea of unity wasn't just a mystical notion but a profound truth, one that could change how people saw themselves and the world. In Gnosticism, unity begins with the idea of the One or Light, an ultimate divine source from which everything originates. To Gnostics, the material world, as we know it, is only a shadow of a much deeper spiritual reality. The true self is believed to be a spark of this light, a fragment of the divine temporarily housed in a physical form. Gnostics saw life as a journey of awakening, where people could uncover their connection to the One through gnosis or spiritual insight. They believed that this understanding enables us to see beyond the surface of life and unveils a truth. Everything and everyone share a common source. The teachings of Kabbalah echo this sense of connection, tracing the universe back to a limitless source called Ein Sof, meaning the infinite. According to Kabbalah, Ein Sof is a boundless, unknowable essence from which all things emerge. This divine energy flows into the world through 10 channels called the Sephirot, which shape both the physical and spiritual realms. Each of these channels represents a different aspect of the divine, like wisdom, love, or strength. As a result, everything that exists carries these qualities, a reminder that all creation is an expression of Ein Sof's unity. Kabbalists believe that by aligning themselves with these divine qualities, a person can deepen their connection to the source, recognizing the divine thread that runs through all of life. Kabbalistic teachings often compare this unity to a tree. The branches, leaves, and roots may seem separate, but they are all part of a single living system. This understanding implies that individual actions ripple outward, affecting the whole. In Kabbalah, each kind and selfless act strengthens this unity, while actions driven by ego or harm weaken it. This view of interconnectedness encourages harmony with others and the world, suggesting that every small act contributes to the health of the whole. For the Neoplatonists, led by the philosopher Plotinus in the 3rd century CE, unity and connection were central. They held the belief that a single source known as the One or the Good, a perfect reality so abundant it overflowed, gave rise to everything in the universe. This process, known as emanation, is like light spreading from a flame, where the One continuously creates without diminishing itself. Neoplatonists held the belief that this emanating flow links all beings, with each of us reflecting the One. While things in the material world may appear separate, they're all expressions of the same divine origin. Plotinus taught that people could reconnect with this source by turning inward, stripping away distractions and illusions. In doing so, they would remember their origin in the One, gaining a sense of belonging to something greater. This understanding transformed everyday life. It was a reminder that beneath the surface, all things share a common root, tied by the same unseen bonds. Interestingly, this ancient vision of unity finds support in modern science, particularly in the field of quantum physics. Researchers have found that particles can link in almost magical ways. Once connected, two particles can remain entangled, meaning a change in one instantly affects the other, even if they are miles apart. This phenomenon, known as quantum entanglement, has led some scientists to propose that our universe may indeed be connected at a fundamental level, just as these ancient teachings suggest. The teachings on unity remind us that all life is connected, not just spiritually, but in how we live and interact with the world. Understanding this unity challenges us to consider our actions more deeply. It suggests that kindness, compassion, and respect are more than just personal virtues. They are expressions of the interconnected nature of all things. By embracing these qualities, we strengthen the invisible ties that bind us to others and the universe itself. Ancient wisdom, backed by modern insights, encourages us to look beyond divisions and recognize our place in a much greater whole. Many ancient teachings view the material world as a trap, tempting us to pursue things like wealth, power, and physical pleasures, leading us away from true fulfillment. Gnosticism, Kabbalah, and Neoplatonism all share the view that focusing too much on the material can blind us to deeper truths and prevent us from discovering our real purpose. Gnostics believed that material desires and attachments distract us from our spiritual nature, creating a false sense of happiness that never truly satisfies. According to Gnostic thought, real happiness and fulfillment come from awakening to a hidden reality beyond the material world. Gnosis, a profound inner wisdom, enables a person to see through the physical world's illusions and connect to the divine light, achieving spiritual enlightenment. For Gnostics, the ultimate goal was to break free from material attachments and reunite with the true source, the One. This idea of liberation didn't just mean leaving behind physical possessions. It meant freeing the mind and soul from the need for validation through things like status, wealth, and success. In this way, the Gnostics saw the material world as a distraction from what was truly important, the journey toward inner truth and divine knowledge. The Sephirot, the 10 divine energies or attributes that shape all existence, symbolize the struggle between materialism and spirituality in Kabbalah. While the Sephirot describe divine qualities like compassion, wisdom, and strength, they also reflect the inner battle between the pull of the material and the call of the spiritual. Kabbalistic teachings suggest that people often gravitate towards the material world, seeking solace in tangible objects. But by doing so, they miss out on a deeper connection to Ein Sof, the boundless source of all creation. Kabbalists believe that true enlightenment comes from raising one's consciousness to align with the higher Sephirot, thereby connecting with the infinite. This process requires moving away from materialistic desires, which only serve to distract, and embracing qualities like love, compassion, and humility. This is how Kabbalah teaches that true happiness and enlightenment come from within, not from possessions or achievements. By letting go of the need for material possessions, one can reconnect with the divine and experience a profound sense of purpose and peace. Neoplatonism, much like Gnosticism and Kabbalah, also views the material world as a lower form of reality. According to Plotinus, the founder of Neoplatonism, the material world is merely an emanation of the One, or the ultimate source. This means that while the physical world is real, it's not the highest form of reality. Neoplatonists believed that by focusing solely on physical desires, people become trapped in a cycle of longing and dissatisfaction, always wanting more, but never truly feeling fulfilled. For Neoplatonists, the path to enlightenment is about turning away from material attachments and looking inward. Plotinus described this journey as an ascent back to the One, where a person gradually releases their attachment to physical desires and awakens to the divine essence within themselves. This journey inward isn't about abandoning the material world entirely, but learning to see it as a reflection of a deeper truth. By understanding that true fulfillment comes from spiritual growth rather than external achievements, one can find a sense of peace that's not dependent on what they own or how others see them. Today, these ancient teachings resonate with many who feel that material pursuits often lead to empty successes, always seeking the next big purchase or promotion without feeling genuinely fulfilled. This focus on materialism, which values success in terms of possessions and achievements, can leave people feeling disconnected from themselves and others. Modern life, with its endless advertisements and social media pressures, only intensifies this focus on things outside of ourselves, making it easy to forget that true happiness often comes from within. Modern science concurs that materialism does not lead to happiness. Studies in psychology have shown that while money and possessions can provide temporary pleasure, they rarely lead to lasting satisfaction. Researchers have found that people who focus on relationships, personal growth, and community tend to experience deeper and more lasting happiness than those who focus on material wealth. If you're enjoying this journey into ancient wisdom and uncovering the secrets that history tried to hide, consider showing your support with a super thanks. By contributing, you're helping us dive even deeper into these fascinating topics, bringing you more content that explores the mysteries of life, self-discovery, and hidden knowledge. Each of these traditions, in their unique way, calls us to look within, to seek a truth that goes beyond possessions, status, and surface-level success. They inform us that genuine enlightenment resides in the quest for self-awareness, the bravery to challenge conventional wisdom, and the yearning to establish a connection with something beyond our own existence. This journey isn't about escaping life, it's about finding meaning that gives life a greater depth and purpose. We realize that the material world alone cannot fully realize the happiness and fulfillment we seek. Instead, we find them in the spiritual insights, connections, and inner peace we cultivate along the way. These teachings also present a challenge. They ask us to consider if we're willing to let go of what we think we need: material comforts, fleeting pleasures, and external validation, in order to find what we truly need, a sense of belonging to something bigger, a purpose that goes beyond personal gain, and a wisdom that connects us to the divine source within and around us. They suggest that true fulfillment comes not from accumulating things, but from learning, growing, and deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world. The quest for hidden knowledge isn't just a journey through ancient texts or forbidden stories. It's a journey into our own hearts and minds. By following these teachings, we can begin to peel back the layers of illusion, discovering the light of our true nature and the unity that binds us to all of existence. We're invited to move beyond the limitations of the material world and into a life of deeper meaning, where we can experience the peace that comes from knowing we are part of something eternal and divine. The pursuit of material success and approval can only take us so far. Real fulfillment lies in the knowledge and wisdom we gain from within. And perhaps, just perhaps, by embracing these ancient insights, we can transform not only our lives, but also the world around us, finding unity in a world often divided, peace in a world of chaos, and light in a world that sometimes feels shadowed. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards, a profound connection to ourselves, others, and the universe, are worth every step. Thanks for watching. Join our community by subscribing to this channel. Until the next video.